Co-host unmute. Check, 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 check. And let's get started. All right. Welcome, everyone. Almost perfect attendance. That's great. Thank you all so much for being here today. Anybody have any hard times with traffic or parking or anything like that? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So that is something that we kind of come up with on the first week of class, kind of get used to that. Like I mentioned before, parking, if there's not anything in this parking lot to the right of the building or the left of the building, you can park on Montana Street. So by the park and across the street, just be careful. Right by our building, there is a fire hydrant. Please don't park there. I don't want you to get a ticket. But anywhere on Montana Street, it's actually more helpful to park on Montana Street than it is in the parking lot over by the tennis courts, a little bit closer. Or you can just be like me and get here at 7 o'clock in the morning and the parking lot's empty. Uh, so, for those of you who have not had me in class before, my name is Mr. Uminski. I am the director of the Hotel and Hospitality Management Programs. I do live record all my lectures, so that's what you'll see, the Zoom. Up here, I do live record everything. I do use my headphone, so I'm not listening to a podcast, I promise. The audio quality has been just a lot better when I use my headphone versus trying to rely on the microphone from the computer. You'll see me wearing a headphone. I apologize. I know it's not the most professional look, but it gives you the best audio quality for the videos. And I will post the videos on Canvas within 24 hours of the class. So if you miss class, then you are welcome to just log into Canvas and watch the video, or maybe there's a concept that you need to review. You can do that by going to the Canvas class, the recording. I also teach this class at 6:45 p.m. on Tuesdays as well. It's only one time, so Tuesday night from 6:45 to 9:30 p.m. So if you do have to miss class for whatever reason on Tuesday, you're welcome to come to my night class at 6:45. It's in the same room. Basically, what I do on Tuesday is the first half of my 6:45 class, and the second half of my 6:45 class is what I do on Thursday. Okay. And so if you come to the Tuesday night class, then you don't have to come on Thursday either. Just remind me that I can update your attendance for both sections, okay, for both classes. There's plenty of space in this room to accommodate if you need to take that, to do that for that particular week. I have been here, I'm starting my 11th year teaching at St. Philip's College, which is hard to believe. It's been over a decade. I started out teaching this class. The last time I taught this class was in person, face-to-face, for a full semester. I believe was 2017. So this is my first time teaching this. I was assigned this class on Friday last week. I have taught this class the last 3 summers, though. Okay. So I've taught the class the last 3 summers. However, it was online and it was done in 5 weeks. So I have to learn how to slow down, I think in most parts of my life to begin with. But specifically this class, I have to learn how to slow down, not rush you guys through the materials, and stretch out what I normally would do in 5 weeks over the course of 16 weeks. Okay. I will post our calendar on Canvas if I haven't done so already. I have 9 classes that I'm teaching this semester, 4 yesterday, 4 today, 3 tomorrow, and then 3 on Thursday. So we do have, I'll go over our calendar here in just a moment. But for those of you, I apologize, this will be a little bit of repetition. Have had me in class before. My background is in the hospitality event industry. Okay, I would call my professional background is in hospitality events. However, I have been working in hospitality since I was 16 years old. My first job was at Chester's Hamburgers here in San Antonio. I was a busser. I was in the kitchen, so I bussed tables, did all the dishes. In the morning, when I learned kitchen morning, it was cutting the French fries for the day. Then I moved over to the prep, cross trained into prep, did that, cross trained into the grill, cross trained into expediter. And then once I was old enough, cross trained into the cashier. And after that, really there wasn't an option for management positions. And so I decided oftentimes what you'll find in your career, you either have to move up or you have to move on. It's kind of the phrase that we say. So if there's not a chance for me to move up, it's time for me to move on. And I moved on to TGI Fridays, where I worked as a server at TGI Fridays at the Forum, which is now a Verizon Wireless. So I was on the opening team of that. So it was really cool to be part of an opening team. I trained at TGI Fridays at De Zavala, which is Twin Peaks. So I trained there first. And then when my store opened, I moved back over. Then after about 8 months, I had the opportunity to be on an opening team of the Cheesecake Factory at North Star Mall 23 years ago. And at 19 years old, I thought like my career was done. I'm at the pinnacle. I'm at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I mean, it was amazing. I was a server, designated trainer once the corporate trainers left, because Cheesecake Factory was a little bit unique in that there wasn't a Cheesecake Factory in San Antonio. So every night after TGI Fridays, after working the day for TGI Fridays, I'd go to Cheesecake Factory at night. We'd sit there for our training, and then they would feed us because the cooks had to practice the recipes, and we had to practice identifying the dishes. We weren't allowed to eat anything that we couldn't identify. So we had to say the name of the dish before we could eat it. So I got to eat all that wonderful Cheesecake Factory food. In the first month that I worked at Cheesecake Factory, I gained 10 pounds because I had to have a cheesecake every single day. I mean, how am I going to recommend to my guests what they taste like if I haven't tasted them, right? So I had to know my menu. And then from Cheesecake Factory, I left there to go work for the Boy Scouts of America in Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico. I didn't quite realize I was doing hospitality at the time. It wasn't until I came back to St. Philip's and I was in a class and I was like, oh, wait, that's what I was doing over there. But essentially, I worked at a conference center. And so people would come for different conference sessions. They bring their family. And it was my job, part of my responsibilities, to work with different age groups and take care of the different kids during the day while their parents were in conference sessions. So I did that. I met people there that got me a job teaching fifth grade outdoor education in Houston. So again, I kind of got into a little bit of my education experience. I worked at a camp. So I spent 9 months in East Texas teaching fifth grade, 3 months in New Mexico. And I did that for about 4 years and then realized I needed to grow up and come back into school and get my degree. So after a 7-year break from St. Philip's, I came back and started the hotel management degree. I originally started out as culinary arts, realized that I didn't want to cook for a living. I just wanted to throw amazing dinner parties and impress my friends. And so that's not really the whole reason to get a degree. So I switched to hotel management, finished that in 2009. Then I switched, went on to do event management and finished that in 2010. That's the bulk of my industry experience. So as an adult, when I came back to work, La Quinta Inn and Suites downtown by HEB, I worked there as a front desk agent and housekeeping. At the same time, I also had a job at the Sheraton Hotel in their restaurant called Barron's. I was a server, so again, tapping into that server experience. Right across the street from the Majestic Theater. So I became known as the singing waiter because I would serenade my guests as they enjoyed dessert. And I am here to tell you that as my coworkers were averaging 10 to 15% tips, I was averaging 20 to 25% tips. So I'd always tell people, I'm like, find out what you do really well and then capitalize on that, right? Find a way to capitalize on it. It was great. I had a lot of fun. It also kind of bonus helped me bust out of my shell and develop my confidence in solo singing. So it also helped with the choir that I was singing with. And I had a few more solo opportunities. But I finished my degree, and then I went to Rio Cibolo Ranch, which is a ranch outside of San Antonio. I was their corporate event coordinator. I did my practicum there. And then I stayed on for 4 years. So after my 16 weeks was done, I stayed on for another almost 4 years. I did corporate events, anywhere from 10 people, team building, on up to 2,000 people convention groups. And then I also did weddings as well. So a lot of event planning experience, a lot of experience kind of seeing the kitchen, not necessarily preparing the food, but also kind of seeing how the catering setup was. And then when I was at A&M San Antonio getting my bachelor's degree, I went in with a sales and marketing focus because that's what I was doing. I was doing sales and marketing. However, I took an HR class, human resources. And human resources is all about training and development, AKA teaching. And I had this epiphany that I wanted to be a teacher. And so the year that I graduated, 2014, in May, my professor of hotel management, Deb Romeo, she announced that she was retiring in December of 2014. And so I applied for the job in October, was hired, and I started in January of 2015. I called my parents and said, I got the job. I'm teaching. I'm an official adult. I have a salary. It's amazing. And then I called my boss in Maine, where I had worked in 2007, 8, and 9. And I told her, I need to be in Maine for the summer. And so I went back to the Acadia Institute of Oceanography in 2015, 16, 17, and 18. I was the head cook. And I used a lot of my experience from the classes that I taught, the catering. I basically was catering breakfast and dinner for 60 people a day. My job was to plan menus. I prepared all the food. I had one assistant that helped me with dinner, but I always did breakfast by myself. I had to control my budget to make sure I wasn't overspending. So all these things that I was doing previously, I applied to that job. When I went in 2015, the cook from 2014 went $3,000 over budget. When I went back in 2015, I came in $3,000 under budget. So I saved my boss $6,000 from one summer to the next, because I was implementing practices. I was doing a lot of things from scratch rather than buying convenience items that were already prepared. And so I got to use a lot of those skills. And then I've been teaching ever since. And I worked in Maine for 4 summers, the first 4 years that I was teaching. And then I've been teaching summer school since 2019. So I haven't had opportunity to go back up to Maine yet, to go back and cook. But that is me kind of in a really medium-sized to large nutshell, kind of as going from a student, going into the industry, working in different leadership positions. This class is all about management and leadership. And how many of you have served in any kind of a leadership capacity, whether that's a supervisory, mid-level? Okay, awesome. Hopefully some of the things that we learn here will be like, oh yeah, this is why I do this way. Or, oh, I can maybe change that, or I can alter how I'm doing things. In addition to just working, okay, those of you who know me, I am extremely involved in the hospitality industry in San Antonio. I serve on 3 different board of directors. I remember in 2012 when somebody asked me to serve on the board of directors for the Alamo Area Hospitality Association. I was like, let's see, 2012, I would have been 30 years old. Is that right? 30? Yeah, 30-12. So I was 30 years old, and I'm like, I can't be a board of director. That's for old people. Like, I'm not old. And they're like, no, David, I think you really can. And so I was really encouraged to do that. So in 2012, I joined the board of directors, and I oversaw their community outreach. So planning different events to give back to the community. And then by 2014, I was the president of the association. And a really cool full circle moment for me because in 2008, when I was a student, I received a scholarship from the Alamo Area Hospitality Association. And so 6 years later, I was the president. And then, having worked in the hospitality industry for a while, I had an opportunity to be the president again last year in 2024. And so I've served now twice as the president of that association. And I also work with the San Antonio Hotel Lodging Association, as well as the San Antonio Visitor Alliance. Okay. I have quite a few volunteer opportunities and different activities for this semester. I'm going to post them by next week. Okay. I'll open them next week on Tuesday. I'm going to tell everybody about them this week. And that way you have a chance to kind of get together. One of them I'm really excited about, end of September, end of October. Hotel Contessa, downtown San Antonio, last year for Fiesta hosted a street taco cook-off. And this year they want to repeat it for Day of the Dead, for Dia de los Muertos. And so I'll be posting that. We only have room for 4 teams. And you have to sign up your whole team all at once. So I'm giving you, should move this. I'm telling people now so you can kind of get things together if you want to get your whole team together. It's a team of, I think it's a team of 3. But I'll post all that information in Canvas and I'll open registration next week. Another event that's opportunity for volunteering is going to be on October the 2nd, if you want to write this down. October the 2nd is the Hidden Gems competition. Hidden Gems is a food event for the Hotel and Lodging Association. And so with the food event, last year they had 22 chefs from different hotels. The purpose of this event, the Hidden Gems, is to showcase what amazing restaurants we have inside our hotels. Because when you think about going out to eat and going to a restaurant, how many of you think about going to the Marriott Hotel or going to the Kimpton Hotel, right? You don't think about going to a hotel to go eat. And that's the whole purpose of this event, is to showcase that our hotels have incredible culinary experiences. And so we'll need help volunteering with collecting trash, bussing tables, things like that. But the benefit of volunteering is then that you also get to sample all the food and attend the event without having to pay the $75 ticket to attend the event. So you volunteer, kind of pay off, do a trade in your time, get to experience the food. They do have cocktails. So I do need to verify with Sala. I think this will be a 21 and up only event. So that way we don't have to worry about testing the validity of your fake IDs. And so I may limit that to a 21 and up. The other, I just remembered. The other event, if you want to put this on your calendar, it is on our calendar. I'll show you. September the 11th, okay, 9/11. We are going to, as a class, we are going to volunteer at the San Antonio Hotel Lodging Association bed making competition. It is their annual, it's the 20th annual bed making competition. Anybody in here go last year? Edward did, I know, because he was part of my front office class. What's that? It'll be the same place. Yep, over by the zoo, where the basketball stadium is, over there by the zoo. Bless you. So I'll post the directions to all of that. We will basically meet there and help them set up for the event. If you want to stay for the event, you're more than welcome to. But if you can't see another class, that's fine too. But we're going to go and kind of help set up with that event and see what we can do. That will be 9/11, September the 11th. And they'll be over there at the Alamo Convocation Center. Again, I'll post all this information. Trying to think of any other. One more event that I can think of. November the 4th. It's a Tuesday night. Okay. Tuesday night, ILEA, which is the International Live Event Association. So it's an event that's association that's all about putting on events. Okay. They are hosting their monthly mixer here at St. Philip's. It'll be upstairs in the 400 rooms. And they're going to do a kind of a speed dating networking type activity. But they also are going to be providing professional headshots. So if you want to come dressed professionally, you can get a wonderful headshot, just like you see my profile picture up there. So if you want to update your profile picture on LinkedIn or have a professional headshot, I would recommend attending that event. And that one's free to attend. So I will let you guys know about that one as well. I think those are all my events. Any questions, comments, concerns so far? I know it's a lot. If you do not use a calendar, how many of you do not use a calendar? Like either digital or like handwritten calendar. You do not use a calendar. I highly encourage you to figure out what works best for you. For me, digital works best because I can be anywhere and I can add something and it automatically gets updated everywhere. Some people like having a physical planner. If you need help learning how to do that, please come talk to me. I would love to show you how to do that. I would not be nearly as successful if I didn't have some way to organize my time. I even have to put my time for this class in my calendar to remind me that in 15 minutes I have to go to class. So I have to put all my stuff in there. Otherwise, my brain it's hard to keep everything straight. All right, so let's do introductions. Okay. How many people do we have? I'm going to pause the recording for a moment. A classmate or something like that. Anybody hear something, maybe an interesting fact that sounds interesting or a hobby that you share? All right, there's a couple crocheters in here. So things like that, that is how networking works. How you get to know somebody. It's not just handing a business card. Okay. It's getting to know somebody, understanding how maybe your skills can benefit them, their skills can benefit you. It's a mutual opportunity, a great relationship. So I encourage you as you go throughout the industry, this right now is your time to start building your professional network. There are classmates of mine that I still see out in the industry, and they will still call on me or I'll call on them to come be a guest speaker. And so there's really great opportunities to start building your professional network now while you are a student. A couple of people I heard are planning to graduate in December 2025. That's awesome. Congratulations. Please make sure you apply to graduate. If you have not done so, you have to apply to graduate. So when you log into ACES, you should see an apply to graduate or application for graduation. Please complete that. That tells your advisor that you are planning on graduating. They'll set up an appointment with you to do an audit to make sure you have all your credits, and then you'll get on the list for graduation. Okay. So please keep that in mind as we move forward. We are going to do a True Colors personality test next class period on Wednesday. Okay. Or sorry, Thursday. Okay. If you will indulge me and give me about 2 or 3 extra minutes, I just want to go over really quickly our calendar for the class. I will get this calendar updated. Where is my fall 25? Here we go. Tuesday, Thursday. Okay, and let me share screen. Okay, so we are going to work on the personality colors on Thursday. The text reading for this class is going to be chapter 1, so we'll go over chapter 1 next week. Okay, you'll notice this. It is a book. It's a physical book. You should get it from the bookstore. Yep. So you check your. Yep. Tamara's got it. All right. So a couple of things I want to point out to you. On September the 11th, that Thursday, again, we'll be at the Alamo Convocation Center helping volunteering. The other thing the week of October 22nd and 23rd. Is that right? No, it should be September. Oh, dang, I got to update this. Sorry. The week of September 23rd and 25th will be independent study. I have an opportunity to go to Manila in the Philippines to go and visit a college over there and evaluate their hospitality program. My flight gets in at 9 o'clock in the morning on the 25th. My flight leaves at 10 o'clock the night before in Manila. But it's about an 18-hour, 20-hour flight time. So I am not going to be ready to teach you on the 25th. Okay. So we're going to do independent study. I'm not coming straight from the airport. We'll do independent study. I'll update this and change this. The other one is going to be in November, on November the 4th. I will be out of town for a conference, but we will have class on. No, I take that back. We will not have class that week at all because I won't have class on Tuesday night. I like to keep my classes together. So November 4th and 6th, we also will not have class. So I will update this calendar. I thought I got all those done. But in my rush to get 9 classes together, I guess I overlooked that. So I'll update this calendar and get it posted in Canvas. And then in Canvas, in the modules, you will see these important links. These are my office hours. So on Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then 5:45 to 6:45, I'll be in my office. However, you can also log into Zoom using that link. So I'll log into Zoom during that time. So if you're not on campus, you don't want to come all the way to campus on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Those are the dates and times that I will be on Zoom. Okay. And in our last 30 seconds, we need to sing happy birthday to Joseph. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2,